So today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, 12th chapter, text 8, devotional service. Mayeva manadhastha Mayi buddhing niveshaya Nivasisyasi mayeva Ata vardhang na sansaya. Mayi, upon me, eva, certainly, mana, mind, adhasva, fix, mayi, upon me, buddhim, intelligence, nivesaya, apply, nivasisyasi, you will live. Mayi, in me, eva, certainly, ata urdham, thereafter, na, never, sansaya, doubt. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without doubt. Purport. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatha Nitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakha Sa. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Sabhanasate Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मयेव मन आधस्थ मयि बुद्धि निवसिष्यसि मयेव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशय। So here in this verse of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna about the secret of devotional service. In the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna has asked a very important question that who is the best? Those who are impersonalists, meditating on the impersonal aspect of the Lord, or those who are devotees who are performing devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in the previous verses, Lord Krishna has already established the supremacy of devotional service. Yoga Vittama means which is the best of all yogic practices. That means there is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So among all these yogas, Bhakti Yoga is the best, and it is stated by Krishna himself. So here Lord Krishna is giving the description how one can be attached to Krishna by meditating on his beautiful form. This is actually pure devotional service. That when a devotee thinks about the beautiful form of Krishna, then naturally he becomes attached to the beautiful form of Krishna. Like in the material world we see, when we see a beautiful form, naturally we are attracted. And Krishna is the most beautiful personality. And all beauties in this material world is actually coming from Krishna. He is the source of all beauty. That's why he is the most beautiful person, and anyone who will think of him and see him, he will naturally be attracted towards him. So here, when Krishna says, Mai eva mana adhascha, that this mind plays a very vital role, important role in advancement of devotional service. Mana eva manusyanam karanam bandha mukhyaya. This mind can be the cause of one's bondage, and also the mind can be cause of one's liberation. That's why it depends upon us how we are using our mind. Accordingly, we will be into material bondage or will be liberated from material bondage. If we are thinking about material things, about material sense gratification, then naturally our mind will be always thinking about that and will be in bondage in the material world. But if we are thinking about Krishna, then naturally we will be detached from this material bondage and will be path of liberation. That's why Krishna is always giving importance to the mind. In so many verses in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about the mind because mind plays an important role in devotional service. And wherever our mind is, we are there. That's why if our mind is in Krishna, that means we are associating with Krishna. And Krishna says that how one can be attached to him, that when one will always think of him. When we see the beautiful form of Krishna in the temple, devotees, they take pleasure in decorating the beautiful form of Krishna. And Krishna also takes pleasure in being decorated by his devotees. Because Lord Vishnu is Alankara Priya. Like it has been stated that this sun god, he is Namaskara Priya. Alankara Priya Vishnu Namaskara Priya Bhanu. Lord Krishna or Vishnu, he is very fond of being decorated with different ornaments. He likes that. So when devotees decorate the transcendental body of Krishna, Krishna becomes very much pleased. That's why the devotees in Darshanarti, they show the mirror to Krishna, okay, see your beautiful form, how we have decorated you. So Krishna is very much pleased, he is Alankara Priya. And then Namaskara Priya Bhanu. And when you offer Namaskar, obeisances to Sun God becomes very much pleased just by offering obeisances. And then Jaladhara Priya Shiva. And you go to a Shiva temple, you just pour some Ganges water or any ordinary water on the Shiva Linga. Lord Shiva is very much pleased just by that because he is fond of Jaladhara. And then Brahmana Bhojana Priya. And the Brahmins, they are very fond of taking prasadam. Brahmins or Vaishnavas, they are all same. They are very fond of prasadam, Lord's remnants. And if you just feed a Brahmin or Vaishnava with sumptuous, nice prasadam, he is very much pleased. You don't have to do anything else. So, when one takes darshan of the beautiful form of Krishna in the temple, naturally that form remains within the mind. And when the devotee thinks about Krishna all the time, that form, beautiful form of Krishna, then naturally he becomes attached to Krishna. Because this beautiful form naturally attracts our mind. So that's why Krishna here says that how one can be attached to him. So first devotional service starts from mind. Of course we know that it starts from hearing and chanting, that is okay. By hearing and chanting, we become attracted towards Krishna, and then we see the beautiful form of Krishna, and then our mind is engaged in thought of Krishna. We think of Krishna. And when here Krishna says Mai Eva, Mai Eva, Mai means me. Krishna was standing in front of Arjuna. And he was speaking to Arjuna, that Mai, me. See the beautiful form of mind. That means Krishna, who is Shyam Sundar, who is wearing a yellow garment, Pitavasa, and Banamalin, wearing a garland of forest flowers, Vaijayanti Mala. This Vaijayanti Mala is actually forest flowers, 5 kinds of forest flowers, colored and very sweet, fragrant forest flowers. So that is Vaijayanti Mala, and Krishna likes that. And Krishna is most beautiful in his Banamali Vesh, Gopa Vesh. That's why Krishna in Vrindavan, he is the most beautiful. Because when Krishna goes to the forest, he decorates himself, or his cowherd friends decorate Krishna's body with forest flowers. They make a garland for him and put the garland of forest flowers. They put peacock feather on his head and then so many twigs from different trees they put on his head. So, and Krishna picks up flowers, kadamba flowers, and puts as kundal, earrings in his ears. And in that form he looks very, very beautiful. So here when Krishna says Mai, he is referring to his most beautiful form. That Mai Eva. And Eva is referring to negate the impersonal feature of Krishna. Because generally, and in the beginning of this chapter, when Arjuna is asking that who is the best, those who are meditating on impersonal form or personal form, so Krishna is actually negating this impersonal form. In this Eva, Mai Eva, only me. Me in this beautiful Shyam Sundar form. You meditate on this Shyam Sundar form. Mai Eva Mana Adasya. You engage your mind on my beautiful form. Means you think of this beautiful form of mine. Without going into this impersonal feature, because Lord Krishna has already explained in the previous verse, Klesodhikatarastesam abhyakta asakta chetasam. Those who are attached to the impersonal feature of Krishna, in that path they have to undergo so many difficulties. But this path of bhakti, this is just like a highway. One can go in this highway and make progress in devotional service. Of course, there will be also difficulties in devotional service, but Krishna says, Aham samurdharta sansara sagarat. I will deliver my devotee from the sansara sagara, the ocean of this material existence. This is the special benediction a devotee gets from Krishna. That's what Krishna picks up the devotee from this material ocean of existence, or ocean of material existence. So devotee does not have to fear for his liberation, because Krishna will deliver him. So now Krishna is actually giving the process by which one can attain him. So that's why he says, Mai eva mana adhastha. That you always think of me without thinking about this impersonal feature. Because in India, many people are attracted to this impersonal feature because this Mayavad philosophy was preached so vigorously by Shankaracharya that though there are not nowadays pure Mayavadis, but the influence is there. And people, even the great Pandits, scholars, they study Bhagavad Gita. And when Krishna is speaking directly, it's actually taking a whole chapter of 12th chapter, speaking about bhakti. But still, people are so unintelligent. The so-called scholars, they stick into this impersonal feature of Krishna. So one time I met one Pandit from Banaras in the train. So we had some discussion about Bhagavad Gita. Though in India, everyone, even a small child can say that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. If you ask anyone who spoke Bhagavad Gita, a child can even say that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. But this scholar from Banaras, he was telling me that Krishna did not speak Bhagavad Gita. This was his statement. After studying Gita for many years, so he told me that Krishna did not speak Bhagavad Gita. I asked him, who spoke Bhagavad Gita? Now Bhagavan spoke. Because it is written in Bhagavad Gita, whenever Krishna speaks, then it is written Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. And the intention of Vasudeva was, he was trying to prove that Krishna was Bhagavan. That's why instead of Sri Krishna Uvacha, he was writing Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So this scholar told me that Krishna did not speak, Bhagavan spoke. Okay, then I asked him that who is Bhagavan? So then he told me that Bhagavan is Param Brahma. He was referring to the an impersonal aspect of Brahman. So I understood his intention. Then I said, Krishna is not Param Brahma? He said, no. Yeah, Krishna is not Param Brahma. Whereas Arjuna himself is admitting Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Brahman, Purusam Saswatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhu, Ahusta Rishayan Sarve, Devarsi Naradastatha, Asita Devala Vyasa Swayam Chava Bravisa. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna as a Param Brahma, and he is telling not only me speaking, all these great sages, they are also addressing you as a Param Brahma. And not only the great sages, even you yourself is also telling that you are Param Brahma. But this Pandit, he could not understand that Krishna was Param Brahma. He was telling Param Brahma was someone different, who is impersonal. So this is the understanding of people even after studying Bhagavad Gita. That's why unless one actually studies Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of a devotee who is coming in bona fide disciplic successor, he will not be able to understand Gita. That's why Krishna is telling Mai Eva. Eva here, Krishna is actually negating this impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord. And he's telling Mai, me, the Supreme Lord, who is standing before you as Syam Sundar, wearing a yellowish garment and forest flowers, Vanamal. You meditate on this form, not any impersonal form. And then he says, Mai Buddhi Nivesh. And then Krishna says that you meditate on this beautiful form of mine, and also you engage your intelligence in me. Because wherever our mind is, naturally the intelligence will follow. If we are planning something in our mind, then we apply our intelligence how to achieve that in material sense. So here Krishna says, Mana means you always think of me, think about my beautiful Shamsundar form, and then my buddhi nivesh. Then engage your mind in me. So that means if you are thinking about Krishna, his beautiful form, then naturally we will think how to serve him. How can I serve this beautiful master of mine? Then we have to engage our mind. That means intelligence. That means our devotional service must be performed with intelligence. Without intelligence, our devotional service may be sentimental. Like we can give an example that we are giving Krishna, we are putting Krishna into rest, and then we are leaving a glass of water for Krishna, that thinking that he may feel thirsty at night. So we are leaving a glass of water for him. But without keeping a lid on the top of that glass of water. That means we are not thinking if there is no lid to cover the glass. That means any dust and anything can fall in the water. So how Krishna will drink that water? That means we have to use our intelligence. Okay, this water should be protected because this is for Krishna. That's why we have to put a lid on the top of the glass. So in this way we have to actually utilize our intelligence while serving Krishna. So Krishna when says, Mai buddhi nivesaya, that all your intelligence should be engaged for my service. All your mind should be engaged in thinking about me, and your intelligence should be engaged in serving me. So, Mai buddhi nivesaya, because intelligence is actually the controller of the mind. We can control the mind through our intelligence. So, sometimes we see in the material world that it is very difficult to control the mind. Because the mind is very turbulent. And the mind is unsteady. Restless. Unsteady, restless, turbulent. So, it is very difficult to control the mind. And we all face that problem in our daily life. So, unless mind is controlled and engaged in proper place, like thinking about Krishna, then we cannot make any advancement in devotional service. And to control the mind, intelligence is required. Because intelligence is higher than the mind. So through the intelligence, we have to control the mind. Because mind is always thinking about material things. So we have to use our intelligence that time. Oh mind, what are you doing? Instead of thinking about Krishna, why are you thinking about material enjoyment? Think about Krishna. That intelligence gives direction to the mind. Because if we think about material things, then we are opening the door to hell. But if we think about Krishna, then we are opening the door for liberation. We will attain Krishna. That's a mind has to control intelligence has to control the mind. Mai buddhi nivesa. So whenever any material thoughts are coming to our mind, if we use our intelligence that time, if we are not carried away by mind, sometimes we are carried away by mind. And then we go on thinking about material things. Even while chanting. Even while chanting Hare Krishna, mind will be thinking about something else and will be carried away by that. Then after some time we will think, oh, I am chanting, but mind is somewhere else. So that means we are carried away with the mind. But if we utilize this intelligence, that as soon as mind goes away from Krishna, starts thinking about material things, immediately we have to check the mind. Because it has been stated, Dhyato Vishayana Punsa Sangastesu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodha Vijayate. There is chain reaction. And it all comes from mind. Starts from mind. Dhyato Vishayana Punsa. That when one will think about material sense objects and go on thinking, then one cannot control his mind. So as soon as the thought goes, immediately that has to be stopped. And that has to be stopped through intelligence. Then only we can check the mind. But if we go on thinking for longer period, it will be very difficult to check the mind. So as long as the mind is thinking about sense objects, if immediately we will check the mind with our intelligence and bring it to Krishna, think about Krishna, then we can be saved. Otherwise it is very difficult to actually control the mind. So that's why Krishna says, Mai buddhi nivesa. You engage your mind in me. About thinking about me or serving me in different ways. Even when we think of Krishna and we want to serve Krishna, then we have to use our intelligence. That's why we see that the devotees, they are always thinking, they are not only serving Krishna, they are always also thinking how to spread devotional service all over the world. This is Krishna's service, and they want to actually deliver all the fallen conditioned souls of the world. This is the compassion of the devotees. That's why we see that Srila Prabhupada, how much trouble he took to spread the devotional service of Krishna all over the world. And he used his intelligence that how to spread the devotional service of Krishna all over the world. That's why he formed the Society of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and he also arranged in such a way that this service of Krishna, the propagation of Krishna consciousness would go on, even if in his absence. So he formed the society, he established so many temples, he established the worship of the deities, he wrote so many books, he taught how to chant the holy name. So all these things was actually designed by Srila Prabhupada. And not only Srila Prabhupada, all the great Vaishnava Acharyas, they have done the same thing. They have used their intelligence for the service of Krishna. So in this way they have built big temples, they have published so many books, they have written so many books, and they have engaged so many devotees in Krishna's service. So this is the intelligence one has to use in Krishna's service. Because in material world we also use our intelligence for getting material sense objects. So that has to be transformed into Krishna's service. That's why Krishna says, Mai buddhi nivesa. that you don't only think of me, you also engage your intelligence in serving me. Nivasishyasi mayeva ata urdham na sansaya. And when one does this, when one always thinks of Krishna and always engages his intelligence, how to serve Krishna, how to engage people in Krishna's service, how to build temple of Krishna. So when one thinks about this and uses his intelligence, then what will happen? Because he will be always thinking about Krishna and engaging in Krishna's service. As a result, nivasishyasi mayeva. Krishna says, when you do this, then ultimately you will live in me. Nivasishyasi mayeva. You will live in me. So, what does it mean, living in Krishna? Of course, all the living entities, all the universes, the entire material world, everything is living in Krishna. Everything is in Krishna. And Krishna is also living in everything. So, when Krishna says living in me, means here by performing a devotional service, you will live near me. Living near Krishna means one will get the same opportunity of serving Krishna, reciprocating with Krishna, seeing Krishna face to face and serving Him in different ways in spiritual world. So when we practice this in material world, seeing the beautiful form of Krishna in His deity form and engage our intelligence in serving Krishna, naturally, ultimately, we will attain Krishna's planet, where we will be able to serve Krishna, seeing Krishna face to face, and serve Him there eternally and reciprocate with Krishna. And that is the goal of our life. That we want to get out of this material world, which is full of suffering, birth, old age, disease and death. And as long as we will be in this material world, we will go on suffering. So the devotees generally, they try to get out of this material world and enter into Krishna's realm, where they can see Krishna face to face and serve Him eternally. But sometimes we also see that those who are great devotees, even they don't want to go to the spiritual world. They want to serve Krishna wherever they are. Even they are ready to take birth in this material world again and again, but they will be satisfied if they are engaged in Krishna's service. That is actually very high philosophy. That means there are different kinds of devotees. Those who are pure devotees, free from jnana and karma, those who are performing pure devotional service, they are not afraid of taking birth anywhere in the material world, even in hell, if they are engaged in Krishna's service. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has set the perfect example of a perfect devotee. And he says, Mai janmani janmanesware bhaktir ahetuki tvai. So, even if I take birth again and again in this material world, but I want your devotional service birth after birth. That is the mood of a pure devotee. A devotee's devotional service mixed with jnana and karma may desire to get out of this material world and go to spiritual world. He may desire like this. But the pure devotees, they even don't desire to go to the spiritual world if they are engaged in Krishna's service here in the material world. Of course, those who perform pure devotional service, even if they don't desire to go, still Krishna takes them to the spiritual world. That is the natural result of devotional service. That means a devotee is not afraid of any condition in life. He is happy as long as he is engaged in Krishna's service and he is always thinking about Krishna. If this is available, a devotee can live anywhere, even in hell. Like Prahlad Maharaj, we see, his life was threatened, still he was not disturbed. He was thinking about Krishna, undisturbed. So, here Krishna says that this is the way how one can attain Him. So, whole chapter Krishna speaks about this devotional service, which is actually the gist of Bhagavad Gita. Though Krishna speaks about karma, jnana, dhyana, so many things, but this is the gist, that how one can attain Krishna through pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. So, if anyone has any questions or comments, keep the fruit
on the lips.
Fruit.
Yeah. So how then Lord will think that I want to take the water first, I have to do the fruit when I have to take it. So sometimes this our intelligence are given and we do something which is
So the lid is there to cover the water. So it should be free from dust and other things. So they may be thinking the lid will fall off by the air or something. They are putting a fruit on top. But there is no heavy wind in the altar, I hope. Is that? And still it takes out the lid?
Then some temples they put a cloth, that some embroidery like cloth. Our temple have the silver lid. It won't fall.
So lid or cloth is okay. But he's talking about fruits on the lid.
Maybe it is for show some beauty.
For so.
Not in the night.
Probably God will use his own intelligence.
So again in the same aspect, like oftentimes I see like devotees, what you said, my Buddhist theorem. So they are brushing and the water is flowing in the wash basin. They are shaving, the water is just going. So many things they do.
Yeah.
But here what I see, if we want to correct them, then they become offended. So how to understand this kind of people? This Buddhi is not still. Still means the intelligence is not used, and this is Krishna's energy. It should not be wasted like that. Like again, taking prasad too much, throwing. So many they don't have this kind of common sense.
Yes. So that's why those who are senior devotees, they have to instruct them. And sometimes If they don't listen to senior devotees, then at last Guru is there. And nowadays in Kali Yuga, even devotees, they don't listen to their Guru also. That is another problem. We are living in Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Maharaj, our senses are controlled by mind.
Mm.
Mind is controlled by intelligence.
Yes.
But it is often that the devotee has decided that I should use my mind in Krishna, I should use my intelligence in Krishna, I should not deviate from it. But it often happens that intelligence defeated in front of the mind.
Intelligence is defeated.
Intelligence is defeated.
Mm. That means we have no determination. If we have determination, intelligence will control the mind. So we have to be determined. No, I have to do this. So, by using our intelligence, we have to think that whatever mind has three things to do: thinking, feeling, and willing. So the thoughts comes in the mind, and then the feeling comes, then we will to do that. This is chain reaction. But when the thought comes, if we are determined and sincere, if we want to make progress in spiritual life, then we have to use our intelligence that if I can go on thinking about this thing which is drag me to material world or material sense gratification, so that means it will be difficult for me to come out from that. So I have to stop the mind now by using my intelligence. And how intelligence can be used? Then immediately we have to think of Krishna instead of thinking about material sense objects. We have to bring Krishna into our mind through our intelligence. So then the mind can be controlled. Even if mind goes again and again, still we have to bring back the mind and put Krishna in the mind. This is tapasya actually. This is sadhana. That to keep Krishna in our mind while mind is going away from Krishna to material sense objects. And we have to bring back by using our intelligence to think of Krishna again and again. Mind will go away. You bring back again, think Krishna. Again it will go away, bring back again. We have to try in this way. This is our tapasya. In other ages, people they go to perform tapasya, they control their eating habits, postures, different things, just to control the mind. Then only they can think of Krishna. But in Kali Yuga, we cannot do that, but at least we can practice in this way, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that what happens when you think about sense gratification in the mind first, then there will be chain reaction and you will be unable to control it later on. So we have to control it in the very first instance when some thoughts coming to the mind. Immediately we have to use our intelligence and bring Krishna into our mind, then only we will be able to control, otherwise not. So when mind is going through with the intelligence means we are not very steady or determined. If we understand that this is the goal of my life, is it okay?
You were giving the example in the train you met someone and he was
Cat, what is that?
in the train you met someone and he was not accepting. Similarly, Prabhupada mentioned this Radhakrishna is a president. President of India, but he also doesn't accept.
Yes.
But Prabhupada gave this example. There are many
There are many like that.
learned people, but they do not accept.
Yeah. Yeah. Many people, they are so-called scholars, they don't understand the basic thing of Bhagavad Gita. That's why they don't accept Krishna's personal form. They think Krishna's personal form is temporary. Whereas Krishna says just opposite. Krishna says my transcendental form is eternal. But they think Krishna's transcendental form is ordinary, material. This is their misfortune.
In the Sutta, the word Krishnaist,
Krishna is.
very captivating word. And about while chanting, mind is wandering somewhere. In old BTJ, on box message about inattentive chanting. The title of that message is Maya's Menu.
Maya's menu.
Okay. While chanting, one is thinking about this day-to-day planning. 10% of his chanting power he will lose. Like 10 points. Ultimate point is, while chanting, he is not thinking Radha and Krishna. He will lose 100% power of chanting. Okay, here I want to mention Parvati Mataji. I told this Maya's menu matter in one class. After the class, Parvati Mataji asked me, "You have that PTG?" And I told Mataji, no Mataji, I preserved that PTG. Somebody taken. She said, so I go to net and search. I don't know whether she found correction.
Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Rama.